Okay, we're
Just a cat.
rolling. Go ahead.
That same day, Baba moved everyone to Mahabaleshwar, where the women stayed in a bungalow called Valley View. Some of the women arrived in the blue bus, overhauled by Sarosh after the raffle. Having given his spiritual workers instructions about overcoming separatist divisions, Baba now lifted the restriction about the women of one group not speaking to members of another group. In fact, he had a strange new order for them. Perhaps in relation to the war, he had to tell them tell each other certain pronouncements. Sorry. Margaret explained, Baba made us repeat to each other 3 times, quote, this will happen, that will happen, end quote. Then the other one had to repeat it. I said it to Rano back to me, and then I had to say it to Kitty. By the time those few weeks were finished, we hated each other. We actually hated the sight of the other one coming up. While at Valley View, Margaret was shifted out of the group with Kitty and Rano and placed with Irene, and Katie took her place. Baba still met only the members of the first group, Mehera, Mani, Meru, and Carmen Masi. For added privacy, he ordered bamboo mattings erected to enclose the Valley View compound. The Jesawala family, having left the ashram, Meru asked whether she could take over. Let's see, it shifted here. Whether she could take over the duty of washing Baba's clothes, which he permitted. Irene was again unwell in Mahabaleshwar. She could not walk, so her meals were served to her on the balcony. Others were sleeping on the floor and not in luxury, she said. And here I was being pampered. Later, I was able to go for a walk. Mitu, that's Mitu the parrot, was taken with them, and everyone liked having the parrot sit on her shoulder. Sometimes Baba took Mitu on his hand, played with her, and patted her head. Mani put her on the bed where Mitu played with a safety pin in her beak, or anything else that was handy. The pets were like surrogate children almost, Mani observed. Mito, although very sweet, was a bit mischievous also. One day, Mara thought she might chew on the pillow. She put her sleeveless jacket over her so that she would know she's a prisoner now and must stay quiet. Shall I read the sidebar?
Yes.
At first, Meru used sunlight, bar soap, to wash Baba's clothes. Mehera also gave her a few bars of soap from cans to use. I forget how you pronounce that, sorry. Con. Later, Lux soap flakes were used, and for the wool and silk items, a gentle liquid soap. This is Mara talking. We were busy getting ready to go out. It wasn't such a nice jacket, thin, white. Sorry, it jumped around. Okay. Thin white with a small amount of embroidery and press snap buttons. Mito stayed quietly under it. We were happy with the idea as it made her quiet. When it was time to go, Mara lifted off her jacket. But when she put it on in the evening, she saw there were no buttons on it. She found them on the ground and had to sew them back on. Mitu had bent and broken some of them. Mara recalled this incident, but slightly different. Oh, sorry. I guess that was Meru talking. Mara recalled this incident, but slightly differently. Once, while Monty and I were unpacking, Mitu was on the bed, making so much noise that I put my jacket over her. She became quiet, too quiet. After a while, we went to see why she was so quiet and found that she had chomped all the nice English press buttons on my jacket. It was like looking after a child. We had to monitor all the time what she was up to. They had another pet too to look after in Valley View at Valley View. Sarosh had sent a horse with a small carriage, thinking Baba might find it useful in Mahabaleshwar. The horse was an off-white old mare from the military. Mara said, very strong, very tall, strong, and quiet. Baba asked if I would like to ride it. There was a saddle and a bridle. I did ride it, but not very much, as the horse was too big. I could hardly get my feet round its belly. Mani and Meru also rode it, one by one. I trotted and cantered well on the quiet road. Baba watched as we took turns. The cart had 2 wheels and a buggy for 2 people. Baba told me to drive the horse and buggy also. He sat inside with Mani and me while I held the reins. Though I never thought of it, Baba knows our minds. I love this type of carriage. It was fun to see the horse and ride in the carriage. Once or twice again, when Baba was away, Baba Mera drove the horse and buggy around their compound. I lost it here. Okay. Baba himself once sat on the horse. The women were celebrating Baba's birthday according to the Zoroastrian calendar, and they requested Baba to ride it. Mero's a bit upset that she had never seen Baba on a horse, Margaret recalled. In Mahabaleshwar, Baba decided to give her what she wanted. Baba had a white horse brought into the open space behind the house. The girls decorated the horse with a garland. Baba came out and smiled at it. He got on. He got on and rode around the compound, and Mara was happy. It wasn't a very handsome horse, but Baba made a fuss about it and showed he was happy. Baba was in his usual white dress. We all walked with him around the house, Meru explained, because Mara wanted it. And here's a sidebar. Unbeknownst to Mara, after great difficulty, the horse and buggy had been purchased by Adi Sr. from Major General in Pune and delivered to Sarosh on 14 December 1942, according to Baba's instructions. Okay, Mera remembered, however, that before Baba mounted the horse, she can't see anymore.
I'm scrolling down.
Yeah, okay. Mero remembered, however, that before Baba mounted the horse, she ran into the house and brought a lovely multicolored scarf, which Pilamai had brought. Mero told Baba, "You must wear this. It will look beautiful on you." Mero tied it around his head, asking, "How do I look?" Since the horse was so tall, it had to be brought near the steps of the house so that Baba could mount it. While one woman held the horse's head, he climbed on, and with the other women surrounding the horse so that it would not dart off, Baba rode it around the compound. We were feeling very proud of ourselves, Mara continued. We all wanted to hold the horse and walk with Baba. Each one had to fight for her turn to lead the horse. Baba looked like a monarch riding on the horse with a colorful scarf on his head. We should have had a movie camera then. Baba would oblige us to make us happy. He was always so loving and giving. After riding around the compound for about 10 minutes, Baba got down. You want me to continue reading?
Yes.
In Pune every day, Gai Mai visited Shri Mai at Baba House. On 21 February, however, Shri Mai suddenly collapsed. She suffered a brain hemorrhage, stroke, and was taken to the hospital, but the doctors said she would not survive. Lately, she had been talking as if she knew she would not live much longer, and indeed, Shri Mai, who was 65, had dreamt of her end. When Baba learned of his mother's condition, he went to the Mandali and told Chanji to inform all concerned. After doing so, Chanji went to Pune to the hospital, where Baba's brothers, Jal, Bayram, and Adi Jr. were at Shri Mai's bedside. Shri Mai was taken home on Thursday, 25 February, but that night she passed away. Baba was informed by telegram at Mahabaleshwar, and he and Erich immediately drove to Pune. Pilamai went with them and got carsick as they descended the Ghats. When they arrived in Pune, however, Baba did not enter Baba House. Instead, he stood outside a short distance away and then went to Bindra House with Erich. It is good Memo died before I came, Baba remarked to Gamai. Had she not died, I would not have allowed her to die, and she would have suffered greatly. Baba only commented, she is now freed. The next day, Shri Mai's funeral was held, and her body taken to the Zoroastrian Tower of Silence. Baba?
You missed a paragraph. Deb, you missed a paragraph.
Oh, yes, that's very important. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Guy
my
Mai
pleasure.
told Baba that something extraordinary had occurred when Shri Mai died. She related that when Shri Mai passed away, Guy Mai had seen a brightness above her head, and then tiny golden hands emerged from Shri Mai's nostrils and hover over her before floating away. Baba only commented, she is now freed. The next day, Shri Maya's funeral was held, and her body was taken to the Zoroastrian Tower of Silence. Baba, Erich, and Pilamai left soon after for Mahabaleshwar, but returned to Pune 2 days later, staying at Bindra House. This time, Baba did enter his family home and told his brothers and sister-in-law Perrin, Memo has come to me and is now fully in bliss. She helped me so much in my work, and after playing her part, she has come to me. She was an exceedingly adventurous woman and extremely fearless. When Bobo, father, died, she was all alone here in Pune with Mani, as you three were with me in the West. Because of her courage, I was able to take the three of you with me. Now Memo is quite happy and free of all worldly ties. The next day, Baba went to Meherabad, where he fasted on milkless tea twice a day and stayed secluded in the dome tomb for a week. Mani had last seen her mother at the Meherabad programs at the end of December. She later wrote an account of her mother's death in a letter from Meherazad dated 15 March 1955. Let me read the sidebar first, I guess. Mani further clarified in a letter to Adele Woken, 22 May 1955, I couldn't go to Shireen Mai's funeral. I'm sure if I had asked Baba, he would not have said no, but orders about going out were very strict then, and they should be as sacred when they are easy to follow as when they are difficult. From the time I left home to permanently stay with Baba, my only contact with the family was through him. So, though I loved Mother dearly and grieved privately when she died, I did not ask to accompany Baba when he drove down to Pune after the news came, nor did Baba recount the event to me upon his return. Personally, there are facts about Mother's passing away which will shine forever in the firmament of my heart. Firstly, that she died on 25 February, the same day that she gave birth to her beloved son, 49 years before. Secondly, the vision had by Erich's mother, Gaimai, who was living at the time in Pune. As Gaimai later related to Baba and us, while she was standing beside Mother at the last, to her utter amazement, she clearly saw a stream of little golden hands issuing from Shireen Mai's nostrils and fluttering above her like butterflies. Lastly, followed by a full-size pair. These golden hands all circled over Mother for a while before they slowly spiraled up and away out of sight. There is another little incident of interest that I recall, which occurred at Panchgani, Mahabaleshwar, a day before we received the news of Mother's illness. We were out enjoying a long walk with Baba over leafy paths and under groves of trees when we came across a thick branch that had fallen down. Baba had Nerges Cotwell and Mansari carried the heavy branch on their shoulders all the rest of the way home. Later, in the light of Mother's passing away soon after, we saw this incident as symbolic of a body being carried on a bier. Is that how you pronounce that word?
Yes.
Bier. It did not surprise us to thus see a spiritual aspect of his work being expressed outwardly in material form, familiar as we were with Baba's ways of working.
And there's a picture of Shireen Mai with Shireen Mai and Guy Mai, Erich's mother.
I don't think I ever saw a picture of Guy Mai before.
Yes. And there's some more pictures of Shireen Mai on the Blue Bus tours with Kippy and Sunamasi, Pila Mai, Elizabeth. And there's Mara with her favorite horse.
Looking like Dale Evans.
Yes, looking like Dale Evans.
Shiva.
Can you read, take over, Eugene?
Chapter 63, Horse Women. Meher Baba left Meherabad on 9 March 1943 to give darshan to his lovers in the Sholapur district of Maharashtra. And since these were his first public darshan programs in 3 years, thousands came. Baba also went on a mud trip for 7 days to South India before returning to Mahabaleshwar on 19 March. Erich had stayed with his family in Pune while the others were at Mahabaleshwar, but he joined Baba when called. He arrived for 2 days on 23 March, and the next day he took Baba and the women for an afternoon drive. On 1 April, Baba and his group shifted to Bilat, an undeveloped, jungle like area halfway between Mahabaleshwar and Panchgani. The women stayed at a place called Jalki's Bungalow near a hilltop plateau by silver oak trees, and the men stayed in a separate house. Early each morning, Baba came to the women's to wash, shave, and breakfast. One morning, when it was chilly, Baba arrived in Elizabeth's checked overcoat with a scarf round his neck. Mehera was waiting to receive him, but when Baba stepped forward to embrace her, she stopped. Ah, a tiny grayish brown field mouse was perched on Baba's shoulder, cleaning its face. Too adorable, right, Rosie? Wow. Baba did not know it was there, and Mehera was so startled she could not speak. She stammered and pointed to it. Baba brushed it, and the mouse ran down. It looked so sweet and cute on Baba, Mehera recalled. Perhaps it had been pocket or under the collar of the during the night. At Bilat, Mehera continued, the women had tea twice. Scroll down, please.
Is that enough?
Yes, thank you. Oh no, I guess I should have said at Bilar, or is Bilar. Mehera continued. The women had tea twice and only one meal at night. On Sundays, everyone fasted and kept silence from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for one period. Meru remembered. The women had to keep silence on Sundays and fast with no cooking or household work. We were just to relax every Sunday. We would sit under trees, read, not do any work or wash clothes. Baba was out doing must work. Each had to take a turn keeping silence and fasting during the week. One after the other in turn would come once a month. About the fasting, Irene said, Baba's training was to have the same face all the time when fasting or when enjoying a good meal at the home of a Baba lover. Sometimes Baba accompanied the women on walks and twice led them up the large plateau near their bungalow. Margaret had sprained her ankle in Mahabaleshwar, looking after Irene. Still, she did not want to miss the walks. Baba told Margaret to rest, but she said that her ankle was better now, and she insisted on coming, though the paths were rough. They had another diversion with Baba when there was a Qawwali program at their bungalow, and the men Mandali were not called. But much of the time Baba was away, either preparing for another meeting at Meherabad in May or on a must trip. He also went to a feast at Meherabad in honor of his mother. While Baba was away, the women were permitted to continue their walks through the forested areas, but they were not to eat any wild fruit they found. Someone had dug up what they thought was arrowroot, and Carmen Mossy had tasted it. It turned out to be a poisonous plant given to sick cattle to put them out of their misery, and she nearly died. When Baba returned the next day, he put his hand on her forehead, and by his grace, Carmen Mossy recovered in a week. Other than walks, Baba was not meeting with any of the women except those in the first group. But he made an exception for Ronald when he wanted some charts prepared for the upcoming meeting. Margaret, who was doing correspondence work with the West, had to leave the room before Baba came. Once, Baba surprised her by telling Ronald to tell Margaret, "The coast is clear," even though Baba was in the room. On a few other occasions also, Baba called everyone to Mehera and Mani's room onto the veranda or to one of the larger rooms. Krishna was doing night watch in Bihar and reported that although the climate was salubrious, Baba was quite restless and did not sleep the entire month they stayed there, no doubt as a result of his war work. When Don came to visit on leave from the Indian Army's medical service, Baba told him on 25 April, "There is all this noise about the war, and here it is about my work. My work will assume double the momentum from August onwards when it truly begins. I hold the key to everything, and as I turn it, things will happen. It is the master key. There will be a great slaughter in India between the Hindus and Muslims." Oh my goodness, he foretold that. Because that didn't happen for another 3 or 4 or 5 years, I think. "Stabbings, shootings, and killings will be the order of the day, and even women and children won't escape them. Rail traffic and transportation will be disrupted. Trains will be looted and derailed due to sabotage on a large scale. There will be
Well, we
great
made
carnage."
it, didn't we? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Here, I'll
need
get
to
it
mute
made out. I
Ralph.
just fished it out of the console.
Not muted. You need to mute
Let me
Ralph.
I'll mute him. There we go. Okay. So there will be great carnage. All this chaos in India will dwarf the developments in Europe and America. Germany is not going to be easily defeated, even if Tunisia falls, which it did on 12. Tunisia.
Tunisia.
Okay, have it your way. Tunisia. The worst aspect of the war will manifest in August. Russia is not on friendly terms with America and England, who want to crush her because they fear Russia like Frankenstein. Stalin knows this, and because he is now busy fighting Germany, he keeps quiet and pretends to be friends with America and England. But when the time comes, he will assert himself. Although Russia will not join with Germany, it will neither be in union with the Allies. Scroll, please.
I'll scroll
Scroll down.
down.
It is a pity. Stalin hates all three, Germany, England, and America. Russia's friendship with Japan is significant. The Japanese have been cunning from the very beginning. All this will take more years to subside and finally come to a settlement. That's Lord Mayor, page 2868. One of the men Mandali, usually Baba's elderly uncle Masaji, that's Pendu and Naja's father, kept watch near the women's bungalow, especially when Baba was away. Once in Bilar, there was a fire. The women's bungalow was surrounded by tall grass, in which many snakes hid. Walu burned the grass to prevent the snakes from coming near the house. But her sari again caught fire when a violent whirlwind sprang up. She shouted Baba's name, however, and the others came running quickly and extinguished the blaze before she was harmed. Another day, the forest itself caught fire in the dry summer weather, and the force of the wind brought it near their bungalow. Kitty, Rano, and Margaret tied scarves round their mouths and joined with the men Mondali and local villagers to beat back the flames with green tree branches. This did little good, and the bungalow was about to be burned to the ground. All shouted Baba's name, and the wind suddenly subsided. They then managed to contain the flames. The fires caused snakes to come out of the tall grass, though, and a few were killed near the house. Kitty was afraid of snakes and gladly let the others do the killing. Scroll, please, Tina. Scroll down.
Yes.
Baba himself encountered a snake here. He was on his way to the Mondelez with Carmen Masi, who was holding an umbrella over him. When they saw it, Baba took the umbrella and killed the snake with it. He commented later that the snake was fortunate, as it would now be born as a human being. The horse and carriage had been returned to Sarosh before they left Mahabaleshwar, but 3 new horses were purchased to keep the women occupied while Baba went on must trips in April and May. Mehera's was a medium-sized mare, a polo pony, young and energetic, just the right size for riding. Another horse was for Irene, and Mani and Meru and Katie shared a third, which was a slate gray and supposedly very tame. With a spirited horse to ride, Mehera had her riding breeches sent from Mehrabad and prepared to enjoy this opportunity. Baba said that she could ride as fast as she liked to some trees in the distance and then turn around and come back. Rano and Irene were to stand at either end of the course, and for added protection, Mani and Meru in turns were to run alongside Mehera's horse, while Katie mounted the gray horse. At first, Irene wanted to hold Mehera's horse's head too, but Mehera said that she could handle the horse better by showing it who was boss. Nevertheless, the horse kept backing up and did not want to go forward. Baba was watching, said Mehera. I was new to the horse. It was on a straight road, but the horse wouldn't go down the road. The sidebar says Mehera braided her long hair into pigtails when she rode. Miss Dunphy, would you care to read?
Yeah. Where are you? I was in the book. Where are we?
Top of the page. Top of page 214.
Okay. Writing on. Irene was frightened for Mehera and came forward to grab the horse again. But Mehera told her to wait, bent over, patted the horse's neck, and spoke softly in its ear. After Mehera scratched and patted its neck for a while, the horse calmed down. Mehera tried the reins, and the horse responded. Baba and the other women stood at one end of the course, watching Mehera ride the horse at a walk to the far end. She then gave it a small dig with her heel and let it gallop back. I wanted to show Baba and the other girls how I could gallop, as I hadn't gotten a chance in Mahabaleshwar with the huge brown horse Sarosh brought. Here, Baba fulfilled my wish. I rode down and back 2 or 3 times. Baba clapped to signal me to come back. The horse was lovely, and I found her obedient to the reins. While trotting away from the house, the mare didn't want to gallop much, but coming back, she did. She would go so fast that Rano would have to move out of the way. That's why I like racehorses, spirited ones. I didn't like Tonga horses, ones that were too docile and tame, and I would say that didn't look half dead. But a docile, tame horse was exactly right for the 3 beginners, Mani, Nehru, and Katie, who each took a turn on it the first day. Then one morning, after Mehera had gone for her ride, Baba left for the men Mandali's house. He had not told Mehera to come in yet, so she walked the horse to a field. Mani was behind her, sitting on the gray horse. Right, I lost my place. Oh, I see. Mehera was trotting her horse to Rano, standing at the end of the field. When her horse started galloping, she had just left their compound when she heard shouts from behind. Mani's mare had unexpectedly picked up speed to follow Mehera's horse. Mehera turned in time to see Mani clinging to the neck of her horse and then tumble off. Mani's tame, quotes, tame horse ran off, and a flying hoof grazed Mani's chest. The others ran to her aid, and Mehera quickly went to the stables, tied her own horse, and ran back to see whether Mani was all right. Although Mani was not seriously injured, she was shaken and limped slowly back to the house. You can give me more words, Tina. You can go higher. Oh, well, down a little, down a little, down a little. I think, yeah, there. No, you have to go down a little more.
To go up and
Where am I? I felt.
Yeah.
Irene had said,
Irene had said for me to watch her ride, Monty recalled, and I did. I was trying to ride the way she instructed, but the reins slipped from my hand. Suddenly, my horse bolted after Mara's horse that had gone ahead. I didn't have the end of the rein and didn't know which way to go. I slid down without struggling. Irene reflected sadly. I felt so responsible when Monty fell off the horse, but I couldn't have prevented it. On 15th May, Baba held a meeting at Meherabad with 125 close followers for 5 days, at which he selected 25 of them to fast for 7 days. The meeting was exclusively for men. Not even Margaret was present. The men and women Mandali and Bilar returned to Meherabad on 26 May. Baba was still staying in the Japti in Lower Meherabad and saw only Mehera and Mani when he came up the hill in the afternoon. The bell was rung as usual, announcing his arrival, but now the other women were to assemble in the old maternity hospital and remain there until Baba left. Instead of sitting there doing nothing, Rano asked Baba through Nilu whether she could complete the 10 circles painting. Following Baba's direction, Rano had begun the painting 6 years before in Nasik and worked on it intermittently ever since, in both the east and west rooms on the hill in Cannes and on the Blue Bus tours. Baba agreed and asked for a sketch of what spaces were still blank. He told Nilu what should go in the blank spaces, noting it on the sketch. Rano then began working on it in what was Gustaji's room in the hospital. When she finished, she brought it to the west room. Baba said he wanted to call Mehera to see the painting, which he did. Mehera was the only other person allowed then to view the finished result. The others were called later to see it. Baba ordered Rano to cover the painting with a cloth and store it in Mehera's bedroom. It was kept there on a stretcher in back of a dresser for the next 10 years. Not until 1954 did Baba surprise Rano by telling her to bring out the painting and show it to the Western men who had come for his darshan. At Meherabad, Baba instructed Sarosh to bring 2 English calves to the hill. Sarosh procured them from the military dairy in Pune, a black one named Raja, which means king, and a white one named Pradhan, prime minister. Baba ordered Mehera to look after them. Sometimes, wait a minute, lower it a little bit. Tina has to go down. You cut me off. Baba ordered Mehera to look after them. Sometimes Baba fed one of the calves milk from a bottle and Mehera the other. Mehera recalled, the little bulls sucked the bottles so forcefully, trying to get the milk out of them. We had to hold on tightly to the bottles. Later, they were fed with a bowl and given green grass also. Great care was taken of them. The black one, Raja, was such a beauty. Baba not only gave it milk from the bottle, but so much love and care also. The black one was very sweet and lovely. It never budded. These bulls would later plow the fields at Meherabad, and the black one drew the New Life caravan also. The white one, Pradhan, did not live long. It ate something poisonous and died prior to the New Life. Baba was always in a happy mood in those days. He told Rano to bring her camera and take a photo, and told me to hold one, Pradhan, and he held the other, Raja. In Bilar, a wealthy equestrian had noticed Mehera's mare on the road and offered to buy it for a good price. Baba informed Mehera, who agreed, as it would not only help Baba, but in Meherabad, there were no proper paths on which to ride such a fine animal. The other 2 horses from Bilar were taken to Meherabad, and at Baba's suggestion, Sarosh was able to get another mare for Mehera. Baba then permitted the same women as before to ride. A makeshift Tata stable was erected in their compound, and Irene appointed the groom. And then you need to raise it again, Tina.
I'm out of time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Can you make a note of that? Because my phone is frozen.
Yeah, so it's, I want to finish the last paragraph on page
Okay,
215. Okay.
okay. Go
Sure.
ahead.
Okay. A makeshift Tata stable was erected in their compound, and Irene appointed the groom. Irene stated, horses were almost my religion when I was younger. And according to Mani, whatever you know when you come to Baba, he uses. Besides Irene's horse, which she called Malkajan, Mani's polo pony, and Mehera's new mare, there was also a fox-colored horse. It had a rash down its back, and Baba told Irene to wash it with buttermilk.
Okay, we'll stop there.
Yeah.
I'll see you tonight at Artie, because I'm
Yeah.
the host.
Right.
Okay, I made a note. What's 11/20? No, today's 10, October 20.
I don't know what the date is.
28th, the 28th.
My phone is frozen.
Oh,
Can someone make a
what
note
was
of
the
that
day
we
for
were
which
on
the
page
buttermilk?
page 216?
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all didn't get very far. What was the
We
malady
take our-
for which the buttermilk bath was
A
recommended?
rash down its back.
They didn't say it was just a
Oh,
rash.
Rash. I thought it said
on
down
a person or on an animal or a
horse.
person?
Animal.
A horse. Ah,
Yeah.
wow. Buttermilk bath. Yeah.
Cleopatra.
It had a rash down its back, and Baba told Irene to wash it with buttermilk.
I wonder if it helped.
Below, Irene Below, I guess. Yeah.
Bilar is this
Below.
Bilar,
Oh,
the town. The
Below. Oh, the
Bilar,
town.
yeah, Bilar.
Uh,
Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
exciting.
I think you're right. Paul.
Huh?
Well, the town is different than the lady. It's one name. The town has its name, and Irene has her name.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
They were. And I have my name and you have your name. And thank God we all have the avatar's name.
Yes, we all have the avatar.
Jay Meher Baba.
Jay Meher Baba.
Jay Bob. Jay Meher Bob.
Oh, and the
Jay
meeting
Meher
now.
Bob.
Right.
All right. We'll miss you, Jay Bob.
Jay Baba.
End meeting for all.
I